we're jumping in with Sage right here on We Get Wiped. It's going to be a little Aquarius capture the flag.
Yep, I mean, this is going to be our Masters Mix final between We Get Wiped and Inept. Inept is going to be Armored Defiance, Avatar SH, Franz, and Crayola 3K. So a lot of players that have been here for quite some time. On the other side, we have We Get Wiped, featuring Sage, Crackdown, Goose, and Duo. So again, a number of players. Actually, I'm pretty sure Duo is in the Master Pre-Made final tomorrow as well. So we got some representatives across the board from the higher levels of play in our league. And right off the rip here, it's going to be Inept on a pretty good push. We are going to have Armored Defiance with the Heat Wave as well as Camo. And as I say that, he goes down. So I'm going to immediately cast a curse into the Oblivion. And the flag is out. So We Get Wiped does have a flag that is missing now. And that is going to be in the hands of Franz. They're going to be running it, it looks like, through the halls. The standard expect. And he is quite a ways down there already.
Yeah, that's a real quick, if he gets a real quick flag cap. That was a real quick run. That's big double kill here. 3 go down for Inept as Goose gets another kill, and that was a full team wipe as one's up already, and they're trying to get the counter cap here. The first cap, it was really key. The key to getting it was Armored Defiance had that overshield, or the invisible, not the overshield, excuse me, and the heat wave, and that really, you know, paved the way for the first cap. But We Get Wiped is kind of, you know, getting 3 down again, and they're making their own flag run at this point.
Yep, Sage is going to have that one in his hands. They are going to be forcing the spawn. See, this is kind of what you're seeing from these teams. I mean, these are mixed teams. These means these players have not really been together for longer than the 9 weeks or so of play that has been played over the course of the season. That is going to be a great play, though. I believe that was Crayola 3K that just tossed the opponent using flag out and tossed it off. So that will delay this cap for a little bit, give his team some time to respawn up here and see if they can get to that flag in time, but they're not going to be able to. Avatar's not going to be able to pick up all the kills. There's a little too many players in front of him. Does end up going down, and that will be a flag cap. So oh geez, a little bit of lag on our end as I thought the game crashed there, and I was a little bit concerned for a moment. But no, we're still in it. This is good. We're still in it. We're still going. And Crayola is just going on absolute tear right now. It's going to be 5 kills. It's going to be, I was going to say lead in the lobby, but no, Goose at 7 and 5 as well. So a lot of these players already going to be putting up a lot of numbers early.
Yeah, it's been really back and forth in the Slays department. We Get Wiped sort of started off on the rip pretty well, getting 3 down consistently. But, you know, Inept weathered that first storm and was able, you know, to get 3 down a few times as well. So, you know, it's kind of been back and forth at this point. 1-1 in the flag caps. Still a pretty fast-paced game. A lot of Slays going on. And like you said, Goose is pacing. Well, Armored Defiance has caught up to him with 8 kills and 6 deaths.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's going to be another 3 down here for Inept as well. We Get Wiped. Not in. It doesn't look like they're in the best position here for a flag cap, as they are still kind of fighting their way out of their base, and that will be okay. Franz will be playing base defense. Luckily, there's not a whole lot in front of him. His teammates are here to support as well. He's going to eat a heat wave shot from Sage, and Sage is going to bite off a little more than he can chew as he rounds that corner. That'll be 3 down from We Get Wiped, so the push will be deflected. Inept is going to hang on without giving up the flag. And, well, Armored Defiance, I think, just hopped over a player there. Goose just kind of went right by him. Now Goose will be spotted. Duo's going to pick up Armored Defiance, though, in the back, so the team's going to be coming through there. As another goes down, that's 3 dead again for the side of Inept. It looks like it's going to be 4. This should be another flagpole coming out of We Get Wiped.
Yeah, that was a big play by Goose. We really thought he was going to go down there, you know, when, you know, Armored Defiance, I guess, was the one that, or Franz, I'm not sure who jumped over his head, but whoever did, you know, sort of missed him down there, and he was able to play his life, which was key. But, you know, it looks like, you know, another flagpole. Both flags are pulled at this point, but I would say probably We Get Wiped in a little bit better position because their flag is right next to the base, and as I say that, Avatar gets a pick, you know, pulls the flag and advances it a little bit here, and you know, we might have a little standoff with the flags if they're able to push this all the way back to their base.
I mean, Inept's team play here is immaculate, as every time like somebody picks up the flag, there's 1 or 2 players covering. They're able to pick up all the cutoffs here essentially. So that's going to be another kill there. So Inept is going to get away with the flag. We Get Wiped is going to be sitting with their flag in the back. So right now, this will be a bit of a standoff until somebody kind of slips up here on the attack. You can see the push and the map presence right now is kind of solidly in favor of Inept. They're very far up here on the map, and they should be going for this here. as it's going to be 2 players. It'll be Crayola going to come charging in with the flag. 1 player in the back is already weak, but he's going to get team shot and taken down. Avatar is going to be the next one up, I believe, here. Working around the back, but I'm not sure if he's going to be in a good position to do so. He gets 1 before he gets traded out. So again, we're just, I mean, we might be in this situation for a while.
Yeah, you know, they got some favorable spawns there, and up in the back of their base, or actually, I guess it's we get wiped. Got the favorable spawns. So when Crayola went in, like he was able to get 1 pick, but then he got taken down immediately, and then I think it was Avatar came in, so it was kind of 2 solo pushes. But you know, the
3 dead.
3 go down now for Inept, as it looks like the side of we get wiped is moving in to try and take out Crayola. He's able to play his life, and they're able to take Goose down. And we're on the crackdown. Crackdown is perfect. Avatar. That's a great shot there. As like you said, Chio, it's looking like we're gonna probably have like a no gained advantage. Probably a long standoff here, and maybe this invisible is going to be key to breaking the setup and getting one team. As Crackdown's going to be able to grab that invisible, and it looks like he's going to get away with it.
I mean, that was the opportunity I thought out of we get wiped. They took 3 down where Crayola was the only last player remaining, and they were not able to really capitalize on it. I guess they weren't, I mean, it was all in defense basically, so they had to travel across the map to get there. The Crackdown is going to sneak into the back, might get this kill. He's going to get it, looking for this return. I don't know if anyone from Inept is anywhere close. They're all in the middle of the map. This will be a return. This should be a flag cap unless they have something to say about it. Armored Defiance certainly does. He's going to get there. Now we get wiped. Is nowhere in position for this. And this is going to be a cap, or excuse me, not a cap. That will be a return from Inept. They're going to pull a flag as well. I'm not sure who has that. Whose flag is that?
I believe
okay, this is Inept's flag. I believe that is away.
Yeah, they're pulling it, yeah. It was Crackdown got the pull on the flag, and, you know, Crackdown was not able to play his life, so that flag's probably going to be dead unless, well, I say that, and Sage is able to get in there and pull it. But there's quite a few players here for the side of Inept that are defending this flag, and I think they're going to be able to put this back in their base. As Avatar here with the heat wave was able to, you know, suppress anybody from coming down there and getting a touch.
Yeah, I mean, going back to that sequence as well with the stalemate that we had, basically once that flag got returned, the only thing that the side of Inept could do was all.
Flag returned. Flag returned.
I just lost the stream. I don't know about you guys.
Nope, we'll get back in a moment, I'm sure. But I mean, as things are coming down, back as I mean, another 2 are going to go down from the side of Inept. There's 3 minutes now on the clock. Still plenty of time to go, as you can see. I mean, we saw a cap within the first, like, 30 seconds, basically. So you know this is a lot of time for these teams to go. And you're just kind of waiting for a slip up. But until then, we're playing Slayer.
Yeah, and, you know, the team that gets that first pick, like, they just got the pick there, Sage, but he goes down, and 2 more go down, you know, for the side of Inept. And there it is. Crackdown gets the pick. There's 3 down for Inept. They may be able, if they can get Armored Defiance, he's being a pest right now, so they're not able to pull the flag. Crackdown has sort of been suppressed by, you know, Armored Defiance, the only one up, and now his teammates are spawning in, but that's a lot of good slays there out of Crackdown. But I'm not sure this flag's going to keep moving unless Goose can get a touch here, and he gets naded by his own team while he's trying to do that.
Yep, as you can see, the players are going to drop down. It's going to be 2 down on either side. The players are going to be backing up, seeing where they can go. We're going to be on board with Sage, working around the left side. The flag is being returned. and their own flag is actually going to start getting picked up as well. So that flag will get returned, and they now have to turn their attention around to see where this is going to be going. But right now, I mean, that flag is going to be down on the ground. It's going to be picked up by Franz. See if he's in a position. He's not. Well, he's going to survive. Armored Defiance is going to end up taking down one. That's going to be a double kill there out of Crayola. Looking to make it 3 here with the camo, but is going to just retreat back, play the objective, grab that flag. He's going to try and run this. I'm not sure if We Get Wiped has any players available to actually do something about this.
Now that was a key moment was when they were able to get their flag cap. They got their flag back. They got 2 down, and Crayola was able to get that invis, and that invis enabled him. He's getting all the information from his teammates, and he was able, to get that double kill. And then, once that double kill happened, they're on the respawn screen, and everybody spawning in the back base, and it enabled them to get this 2-1 lead. And with a 1 minute left, We Get Wiped is really going to have to, it's not panic, but everybody needs to be on their game if they're going to be able to pull this game back and push it into overtime.
Yep, definitely. I mean, we're down to 50 seconds here, and this is going to be We Get Wiped in the base. They're going to find one. They're going to pick up 3 kills. Armored Defiance, now the last one standing, and it's basically all going to be on him here to try and prevent this push. He's going to get caught, though. He'll get spotted. There's going to be 2 players around this corner, and he's going to drop. Sage is going to run this flag in. Avatar is basically going to be all on him to try and stop this. He's going to go down. That's going to be... The flag is stopped! Right at the last second, the flag has been stopped. It's going to be, I believe that was Franz that was able to get the kill, but no, Dulu's going to slam it home. And that, okay, now you, I mean, it's tied up at 2-2. This is basically overtime, and that was a huge play out of We Get Wiped.
Yeah, that was, Armored Defiance being the last one up. He did his best, but they spotted him early and were able to take him out, which, there was nothing they could do at that point. Delu did a great job of, stopping at the goal line. But, now both flags are out, and we're into, extra time here.
Oh, it hit the ceiling!
Oh, he wasn't able to get it out.
We had sudden death. Both flags are out with the one, but when We Get Wiped, toss it off, the flag hit the ceiling. The flag is still out. Armored Defiance is going to grab this one, and he's going to start running it. He's taking a lot of fire from behind here. His teammate trying to return that other flag as well. He might get this in time. At the very last second, it's going to be choked by the ceiling.
Oh,
and that is going to cost him the game.
Wow. What a sequence of events.
For your patience, apologies for the delay that we had. We had some technical difficulties that will hopefully no longer occur, so your ears will not bleed unless you're going to listen to me for the next several hours, which will happen tomorrow on top of today. So you know what? It'll be all right. We're back. And we're back right into recharge right out of the gate with Inept with that 1-0 lead. So, I mean, they're going to take full advantage of that victory that they pulled out in the capture of the flag, and they're going right back to work.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting to see what happens here because, Slays were pretty even. So, in the first game, and which was objective, obviously, and capture the flag. So, it'd be interesting to see which team is, like, the better, slaying team since it was fairly even. But we all know, objective slaying is a little bit different than... Team Slayer when the slays are the objective.
Yep, no, 100%. I mean, they are going to be working their way around. It is going to be We Get Wiped up 1-0 or up by 1 for the time being, and they've kind of slowed the pace down across the map. The shock rifle is kind of your main power weapon now, with the sword off the board for the time being until something gets fixed. You never know if there's an update that's coming our way. At some point, we can have some hope that some of these things might get addressed. We'll be able to use it once again eventually. But until then, we're just stuck with the regular sandbox items that we have. And a lot of these teams are really, really good at putting this to good use. And that's going to be the shock rifle. There's Crayola is going to pick that one up. That was Goose that ended up dropping. And then Crayola is going to proceed to eat like 3 nades and take half a nade worth of damage. Don't really know how that one worked out. But he's going to easily recharge the shields up, get back to work. Fire off a couple with the shock rifle, but not able to connect those headshots that you love to see the pop-offs with. And they're going to continue to kind of rotate around as they will remain 1 point behind We Get Wiped for the time being.
Yeah, and it's a lot slower pace than I expected, with this considering, it's a Slayer map and both these teams, are Masters teams. So the level of skill is at a premium for our leagues. It looks like the team of Inept snuck away with the invis there, and that could be, a huge playing point here since the game's pretty close. They're up 11-9 right now. They've been able to wrestle the lead away as Sage has sort of been controlling this top, glass area and attic area, and it's just kind of in cross fight, cross map fights. And once a team gets a pick, the team starts moving in. Is we got a 4-team push here on A from Inept.
Yeah, I mean, everyone just, it's going to be, I mean, we get wiped just not trading in favorably here. They ended up pushing into basically 3 or 4 players of Inept all at the same time in a 2v4 situation. You're not going to win that. They don't even get a trade out of it either. And this is now Inept is going to start pulling away here. It's going to be 16-12. They're picking up all the kills. They're taking the advantageous gunfights, except for that one. That was a 1v3 and definitely not in your favor, as Crayola gets absolutely demolished by the death ball that was the side of We Get Wiped as they rolled right through. You can see they're continuing to just roam around the map in the pairs. You want this pair setup. You want to always be tag teaming with someone on your team and just being there to be able to trade out as necessary or just take the advantageous gunfights. And We Get Wiped does look like they're adjusting a bit here. The lead is down to 3, so they're playing this a little bit nicer and hoping that they can continue. And that's going to be a nice shot from Sage there, as a nice flick at the end with the shock rifle.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see what happens here, because usually the shock rifle is one of those things that really defines this stage, especially since we don't really have the drop weapon or the sword available to the teams now. And it's just, the shock rifle is pretty much the dominant force besides for invisibility, as no one's really put it to use where it's like allowed them to just pick off kills after kill, which we do sometimes see at this level in the Masters division. Sometimes you see that really be a very key weapon on this stage, where a guy can just pop off for a killing spree with it.
Yeah, we're going to be on board with Armored Defiance right now. Is going to get taken down, and this is going to be We Get Wiped retaking the lead here, 20-19. They're able to erase that deficit as Inept has kind of slowed down. I think Inept is playing a little more scattered on the map, and well, as I say that, Crayola is going to take 2 down. Crackdown and Goose both go down. A third is going to be there with the helper from Franz. So they're able to pick up 3 straight kills. It's going to be another lead swap on the board. We Get Wiped, though, is going to answer right back. And I mean, this, just like the Aquarius, is going to be really tight, coming down probably to the end, because both these teams are incredibly evenly matched across the board. And they're definitely showing it. I mean, this is why they made it here. They are the 2 teams remaining out of the 8 that were on the board in the Masters Mixed Division. So, I mean, these teams fought their way through everyone else to get here, and that is why they're in this finals match.
Yeah, and like you said, it's back and forth, and it kind of goes to what we were talking about Aquarius. Even though it was an objective game, the slays were really even, and it's kind of lended to this game just being really back and forth. And got a little bit of a lead here for We Get Wiped of 5. We'll see if they're able to stretch this out, as they have them kind of Inept kind of pinned into the yellow pipes areas. They're trying to push out with 2, and they're able to push out with 2, and they get 3 down for the side of We Get Wiped, and that's a full team wipe. We Get Wiped gets wiped, and we're at a 1-point game again.
The name kind of stands true in this case. That's going to be 27-27. We are all tied up. Once again, We Get Wiped had that lead and lost it almost immediately, basically, with that team wipe that came through. Franz is now going to be the one with a shock rifle in hands, looking to make plays. The entire We Get Wiped team is in front of him. He's not really aware of it, because, we have X-ray vision. We can see it all, but he can't. So he's just kind of waiting around. He's basing it entirely on where his team's position is, and then where the spawns are expected to be as those players come up. He's going to be working around the back. He's going to be joining a teammate. Avatar's going to take down 1, but Armored Defiance will fall. We are still going to be very close here. It's going to be 30-28, a 2-point lead for We Get Wiped. They're going to continue to make that lead increase here, as they're going to take down Franz. They're going to take down another, but We Get Wiped is going to lose 2 players in the process. So they're keeping this. Like, no team has really been able to pull away. The 2 occasions where it has happened, the other team has ripped it right back. So,
yeah, and
I mean, overall, it's been
like
great.
Yeah, I mean, it's been like, the team gets like a 3 or 4 kill lead, and then, the other team either gets a full team wipe or, 3 down, and we're back to like a close one. As We Get Wiped is, inched out a 3-point lead. As Crayola, we're on with Crayola, and he's not getting the information he needs, maybe from his teammates. Didn't realize that one of the players from We Get Wiped was on his flank, and he gets taken out. And they're back up to a 4-point lead. Goose has got this shock. We'll see if he's able to do some damage and really extend this lead, because they're down 1-0, so they need this. Going down 2-0, it's not, I mean, not catastrophic, but not where you want to be in the championship.
Yeah, well, I mean, the alarms are not blaring yet for the side of We Get Wiped. I mean, if if this lead drops out, I mean, you're beginning to run out of time here to kind of recover back from these scenarios. We're approaching 40 kills on both sides right now, as it's going to be 37 to 33. But I mean, once we cross that 40-point threshold, any lead is basically super critical. You have to treasure every life, essentially. And that's a great fadeaway shot there from Avatar. Does end up going down. I mean, you're looking at the kills right now. It's pretty even across the board. Crayola with 13 kills, leading the lobby right now with this team. They're only down by 3. So you want to see his teammates get going, try to get a few more engagements. I mean, well, okay, a few more kills. I wouldn't say deaths, because that is technically an engagement too. But we don't want that. But Crayola is going to fall. That's going to be, we get wiped one away here from 40 points. As the side of Inept is trying to close this gap. But, I mean, you do have that one map lead right now if you're Inept. Not the end of the world. That camo, unfortunately, is not going to get any use. He's going to go down. And they just have to kind of work their way around this now, as Crayola is going to be on board looking for the player. Down bottom, BR is going to be super weak here. But they're...
And they really haven't been able to, like, reduce this lead. Even with that shock rifle killed by Armored Defiance, they're still down 6. But he gets another perfect. What a great shot. And he's going to need to hit a few more of these to, like, you know, get this lead. They're going to need a full team wipe without dying at some point to try and pull this back, as they're down 5. And, you know, we got 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock, so we should see this one to fruition and end. There have been times in this league where we haven't in Slayer, which is really rare, but I think this one, we're going to see some pushes, and we'll see, you know, they're down 4, and they're starting to make that pull back that they need.
Yeah, We Get Wiped is considerably slowing this game down right now. They're not taking any unnecessary risks here, because they were up in the lead by 7 kills. It's down to 4, make it 5 here, as they're going to find 1 on towards Avatar. But the rest of their team is just kind of holed up. They're not presenting themselves to the shock rifle for any instant kills, and they're just playing it as slowly as they can. And Franz is going to find another, so it's going to be 46 to 42. Inept is climbing back into this game very quickly. That's going to be a nice shot and a nice reversal there, as Crackdown is going to drop, but Armor Defiance will eat the nades. He's going to fall 40, I believe that's 48 now to 43. Inept cannot afford to drop any more lives here, because you just don't have the time. You don't have the life to play with. And this push right here in towards pipes might be the end of the game, depending on how We Get Wiped is able to deal with this. Sage is going to fall. That's going to be 1 kill back over the other way, and that has not been traded out either.
Yeah, they're kind of making solo pushes. They didn't really push as a team. That's a hard place to go through. Choke point, as Crayola is able to take another down. And we got a game here. It's 48-45. And, you know, the side of We Get Wiped is kind of in poor positioning, you know, at this point. I'd say the power positions are sort of in the favor of Inept, even though they seem to be, you know, holed up in the yellow pipes. It's just hard to make a push in there, right? So, I mean, Sage almost naded himself there.
Nothing happened. We didn't see it. But the problem now here is that Inept has been holed up in that power position, like you were saying. Like, they're in the advantageous spots. The problem is the clock is not on their side anymore. There's 30 seconds. And if they don't tie this game up when that clock hits 0, they are going to lose the game. So that does mean they are going to be forced to push out now. And you can see Avatar with that shock rifle is going to be kind of leading the charge. The rest of his team is going to be going around the outside. They're going to lose 1, though, and that is going to be it. They're going to drop both players. And that's going to be We Get Wiped, evening up.
But, you know, we're going to hop in here, and we're going to see who gets the opening picks and is able to get that first time on the oddball, and if they're able to pull it to one of those better setups where you can play the ball.
Yep, and I mean, right out of the gate, that's 3 dead for Inept. We Get Wiped is going to come out swinging. Sage with 2 kills and the ball, and the EOS hasn't even come up yet. So that is something that We Get Wiped can pay attention to. You do see they're going to be taking this back towards the tower. This is where I was hoping it would be. And you can see the shots are coming through as the attention is now being paid to the overshield. And it does look like Inept is going to be kind of coming up on top over there. But no, the nade is going to fly, and that's going to be 3 dead. That's going to be an overshield in the hands of Goose. And everything is going We Get Wiped's way, basically, on the opening break of this matchup.
You know, I'd like to give some credit to Crayola there, though. He made them drop the ball when he was the only one alive. And he's kind of stalled this setup, right? You know, what a great play. 3 of his teammates down, and, you know, he did stall it, but it still looks like Crackdown's able to get the slays, and they're getting some time now as 2 go down for the side of We Get Wiped, and the ball was played. So Crayola is the first one there. And, you know, for that initial setup with a full team wipe, and not getting the overshield to only be down 13 points is kind of massive, I would say.
Yep, definitely. I mean, Crayola is going to be. I mean, right now, like Inept, you're only down 13 points after what was kind of like a horrendous break, basically, for your team. I mean, you had 2 instances where your team went 3 down. You lost every power up on the map, and somehow you're only down by 3 points right now because you have that ball in play. It's going to be in Franz's hands. Avatar is going to be significantly pushed up here, trying to say, basically just trying to delay a lot of these pushes here. As you can see, Avatar is gonna be that point of contact down below. He will end up falling. This is gonna be We Get Wiped attempting to make a push. But I mean, Inept is kind of just holding the line though. Even though 2 go down, We Get Wiped is not in a position to really press this.
Yeah, and it was kind of big though that they were able to get that overshield. Like Crayola and them being able to take down Avatar, and Crayola was the only one that was able to be on the overshield, and We Get Wiped was able to take the overshield and get the slides and kind of break this setup. But that was, like you said, all the momentum was in We Get Wiped's favor off the break, and we got a team here that's in the lead still currently in Inept after a horrible start to the game.
Yep, I mean, We Get Wiped is still, I mean, they do have the slaying lead. They have relatively even numbers across the board right now for their team, and they are holding that advantage, but they are behind in the objective department for the time being. I mean, that is likely going to change here as they're still in possession of the ball, and Inept is really nowhere near positioned to kind of do anything about it. So you're going to see this push coming forward from the side of Inept as they're all going to be kind of congregating here on towards the tower, but the ball is going to be back B, very easily tossed off. There it goes. I don't know if Sage had to follow the ball with it as he kind of jumped off along with that ball. Might not have been the most necessary thing, but he will get sent back to the death screen. The ball will be reset, and the fight is going to continue as, I mean, there's just gunfights going all over the map. This is probably the most chaotic, like, oddball match I've seen in quite some time.
Yeah, and every time it gets played, it's like a tug of war, right? It's the tug of war at the bottom. Who's going to win the tug of war? Get that pick and get the ball to their side. And like you said, we have not seen one garage hold yet. We've just seen, the back C and B holds, and they're able to play the ball. And maybe that's because we're in a Masters mixed, as opposed to maybe contender and challenger, where teams might be more, more inclined to pull it to that side of the map.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, a lot of it does end up being kind of convenience in the position that your team is in, because we also have seen a lot of scenarios where a team is like dead set on rotating that ball towards the side that they want, and then it's like, oh, I'm going to rotate this ball away from my entire team into the enemy spawn. And that has happened more than a few times that we've seen on stream so far, and oh my god, I don't know how Crayola got any of those kills near the end with no HP on the board, but he's able to do so. Franz is going to come in, is going to pick up the ball, but he does go down. Inept is going to lose 3 players, and this should be We Get Wiped retaking the lead if they can get out with the ball. Armor Defiance is going to nade out 1, but he'll eat a couple in return. This should be We Get Wiped getting the possession that they wanted here, and they're going to wrap back towards the tower once again. So, I mean, similar to that first setup that we saw, this is going to be a push from Inept on towards this tower, but they broke it pretty easily the first time. So we're looking to see whether or not they can repeat it. And, I mean, you're off to a good start. 1 goes down, and that's going to be traded back. Because Crayola is still trying to get the shots off, but that player is just kind of sitting behind the pillar. And this should be, I think, Inept breaking through as they're going to take down 2. There you go. The ball goes off the edge. 3 go down for We Get Wiped. And, I mean, I don't know if We Get Wiped has to adjust because you want that tower hold. But, I mean, clearly they can't hold it.
Now, they haven't been able to get like a really good setup on it. And, they're still in the lead. They've milked enough time on the few setups that they've had. But, I would say, the side of Inept is, the one hold they had on the tower side was much more substantial as they were able to get like 30-some points the last time they got it here. So it's very key to the side of We Get Wiped to try and get these early picks so that they can't have just like a full setup. But as I say that, they have a pretty good setup again on the top tower as Franz was able to take him down and he's on a killing spree. They do take him out eventually from Nest as we're on with Avatar, who has the overshield, so he's able to, delay any push for the ball since the ball was not able to be played by his teammate. I don't know that they know that that player is up there in top tower, or if they did take him down. I don't think they're aware. The guy with the ball was not aware. He does get repulsed, but not off the stage. But Crackdown's able to slay him down, and he's on the death screen. And, you know, they're kind of breaking the setup, and we have a really close game as predicted.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's going to be like this time and time again. I mean, this is the type of Halo that we want to be watching. This is what we get excited for. That's all that really matters here. As Sage is going to be next up with the Heat Wave. And honestly, the power weapon control from We Get Wiped has really fallen off since that opening break. Every OS, I think, has gone to the side of Inept since that, I think, first two. So they've not been able to really control that side of the map when the spawn comes up. Inept has made some fantastic adjustments. And they're also going to take the kill lead, I believe, as you got 3 players in double digits here, as the sniper is going to go off the edge. I think that was intentional too. Armored Defiance was trying to deny that as he takes the sniper with him over the edge of the map, and down it goes. 95 points here for the side of Inept, though. We Get Wiped has to get on this ball. There's only 30 seconds to go, and they can't afford to let Inept touch this anymore.
Yeah, you know, 5 seconds needed for an Inept, you know, 25 seconds needed for We Get Wiped, and 35 on the clock if the ball's on the ground. So, you know, We Get Wiped's got a pretty good hold. They got 3 players up there on the tower. They should get a favorable spawn also, because, you know, the side of the side of Inept.
They gotta go. They gotta go
They
here.
got to go now, because now all of a sudden we're seeing this lead get tied up, and this has been a great hold. The hold of holds. If he doesn't get there in 2 seconds, and I don't think he's going to. And there, you look at it. We had talked about how We Get Wiped never had a great hold on C, and when they needed it, they got it. They had 67 points, and they needed, you know, 33 points to win, and they got all 33 in that last hold there.
I mean, that was just a fantastic hold down at the very end. Inept only needed 5 more seconds, and they couldn't touch the ball. We Get Wiped had everything that they wanted there, as Armored Defiance is going to grab the sniper and try to go, no, I don't want that AR. I want a BR because I need a precision weapon that's not the sniper. He's going to pick up 1, so this is going to be a nice opening break here from the side of Inept. They are going to be going towards this OS, and I do believe they're probably in the prime position to get it, as the players from We Get Wiped a little closer around the edges. As they're trying to move forward for this power-up. He's going to miss the no-scope. He's going to go down. The Heat Wave fries 2. His Avatar falls as well. It's all going to be now on towards Franz, I believe, here in the back, who's going to try to get on towards this OS. But in a 1v2, he's got no shields. He's going to fall, and this is going to be We Get Wiped. Not pouncing on that ball. Actually, Inept got the close spawn. Everyone left the ball behind.
Yeah, and, you know, no one really... Yeah, I think the side of Inept was able to get the ball over there before they died, or I don't know who took it over there. But, you know, big double kill out of Goose with his overshield. See if he can get this 3rd kill. He's able to get the 3rd kill on a killing spree. Wasn't a triple kill, but that was a full team wipe from We Get Wiped. They got the ball now, and we'll see if they can get that to the C tower and get a strong hold out of it, as all of Inept is, you know, spawning on the A side. But, you know, they made a strong push, you know, to start off. But We Get Wiped. It's got the sniper rifle and the C tower setup. We'll see if they're able to get a strong hold here like they did at the end of round 1.
Yep, I mean, it's Crayola ends up taking down 2, and that kind of cracks the setup wide open, as Armored Defiance is going to, or excuse me, Avatar is able to finish one off with the Heat Wave. They're going to find 1. It's going to be traded back here, and there's no weapon, there's no ammo left in that sniper, unfortunately, for Avatar. He's probably very sad after picking that one up. But the shots are going to continue to fly through. Inept is going to lose 2 players here, as they're going to work down towards the bottom. Crackdown will fall to the Heat Wave. Avatar is going to have to duck away and will end up dropping, but that is going to be the ball. Should be in the hands. It's in the hands of the OS player, and that's not a fight you want to take, as the OS picks up 1. Goose is going to continue to fire their shots out and pick up the ball, so there you go. Let the OS player loose. He's going to go charging out, pick up a couple kills there, and that's going to be 2 dead again from the side of Inept. I mean, the ball is going to be picked up here by We Get Wiped. Heading back towards the tower once again. We're going to see how long they'll be able to survive with this. But again, it's not a setup that's like a proper setup, and that is something they've been lacking over the course of this game.
Yeah, you know, it happened in round 1, and it's sort of happening in round 2 at the beginning. They're just kind of getting, you know, 5-10 seconds here on their setup, because it's not really a setup. You know, they only have like 1 or 2 guys at the tower. Their teammates are either down or pushed too far up. So, you know, it's looking like the side of Inept now has 3 people on the tower, as the carrier does get stopped with Sage here on the flank getting a double kill, he's able to, break this setup as well. And, wasn't a really strong setup, even though a lot of the players for Inept were there on the C tower trying to make the setup, be a success.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to continue. I mean, it's going to be like guerrilla basically, as these guys are going to be just trying to get whatever points they can around the map as the ball kind of flies around into different locations. But for now, this does seem to be a decent-ish tower hold coming out from We Get Wiped. As you can see, they've splitting their attention too. You got one player here on towards Sniper's Nest here. They're going to be taken down, though. That's some nice patient shots out of Armored Defiance. The ball did get reset once again. So I mean, there's probably a counter somewhere going. How many times does ball get reset intentionally as the players keep throwing it off the map? And this match is honestly probably gonna be one of the higher number ones because the ball keeps getting reset. But the OS fight is here. There's 3 players from We Get Wiped, and somebody from Inept is gonna go flying out on towards the top, and he kind of mistimed that because he did not pick up the power up. He is gonna fall. 3 players from Inept go down, and that is gonna be OS to We Get Wiped. They are definitely regaining control of those power items for the time being, and with it, the lead, because that is a 50-point lead and counting.
And they've decided to go to the probably more of opportunity to the garage setup first. I don't know if we can call it a setup since it appears that only the ball guy is in there with the setup, and he's had to play it out. But they've kind of milked this clock. They've just milked, 15, 20 seconds here and there, and they got a large lead now at 73 to 13, excuse me. And we'll see, if the side of Inept is able to, break this setup and get some time themselves because, they only need 21 more seconds. And as Avatar goes down, 3 do go down for We Get Wiped, but it's also 3 down for Inept. So we got a little 1v1 battle here with the ball kind of laying out here at the screen area.
I will kind of admit, this game's been out a year, and I only found out like last month that you could destroy a wall by shooting the emitter at the bottom from the front.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Which kind of goes to tell you like how much time I actually end up playing this game. But I saw that for the first time on stream like a few weeks ago, and I was like, I didn't know that. I'm learning new stuff about this game every week, it seems still.
Yeah. And I mean, hopefully, there's some new content coming in at the beginning of November. So there'll be new things for us to learn, new maps for us to learn, and exciting for our next season. That's
we're gonna have the Shroud as well.
Yeah.
I don't think
the Shroud will be out until
like
the
April
season 3.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That will not be out till season 3. As Avatar gets a double kill here, they've sort of, they've limited the setup here. No one's really, as this is going to be a big overshield for the Franz. As he throws down his shield and so he can pick up his overshield. He pops it a little late, which is a smart play by him. He does get repulsored though, and they only need 9 seconds. They got to fly, even though they got the overshield. They might not get there in time. With 5 seconds left on the board, he's probably going to have to play it as the whole team is there. Excuse me. Crayola knocks him off with 1 second necessary. So this is going to be a huge tug of war here. The Franz having the overshield is going to be big. He's going to pick up this ball. He is kind of pushing it towards the side of We Get Wiped. And, 1 second is all they need. So if one guy just grabs that ball for a second, this game's going to be over. They need to play near perfect Halo here if Inept's going to be able to even stay alive as they're down 1 round to 0 at this point in this game.
And you gotta hold it now for 70 points. You cannot afford to give this ball up at any time, and that might be it there. The ball is gonna be picked up by Dulu, and that is gonna end the map. It's gonna be 2-0 in favor of We Get Wiped, as they're gonna how to handle it, and we're gonna be right into it too. King of the Hill, the first point is gonna come up. It's gonna be over by it's Strongholds. I thought I got baited by the map screen. It's Strongholds, not King of the Hill. Rockets are still important, still applicable. Everything still stands as what we said. Basically, you're looking at the shotgun, the stalker rifle as the main weapons, but it looks like B is going to be capped by We Get Wiped off the rip. C is going to be going in favor of Inept, and that's going to be a nice shot there from Armored Defiance. He's going to pick up the rocket launcher player, going to take that one down. Franz doesn't even carry, he has a shotgun in his back pocket as somebody charges him down, and he's just going to take him out with the BR. And there's still a shot left in this rocket, so they're going to continue operating that. He's going to miss that, though. He'll get a hit marker, I think it was, but he's not going to secure that kill. And his team right now is going to be a little bit lacking in the capture department, as they're going to start this game down 20-1.
Yeah, I mean, even though it seemed like they were able to get that one rocket, they were able to get the bulldog. They didn't really get a lot of slays with any of those things, right? So their choice to sort of play the power ups and like win the power up battle hasn't translated into the scoreboard being in their favor. They've not getting the slays with those two weapons has sort of put them behind the eight ball because the other team was capturing B at the time they were doing it, and when they made that push, they were not able to get the slays necessary, to pull out B. As we get a smackdown from Arbor Defiance, he's being a little sneaky, playing his life around the corner, trying to wait for his teammates to get in position so that they can make a push onto B. But 3 go down for Inept, and We Get Wiped is really running away with this early lead. 60 points and counting at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Inept has just not been able to kind of get the rotations. They're just losing a lot of the gunfights here. I mean, they're winning in slays. They have, or well, okay, maybe they're not, because I believe that's a 0 and not a 6 from Avatar. So they're not on top of the slates entirely, but they've not really been able to force We Get Wiped back or kind of force a rotation in any regard here. Because typically, if you're down, like BC, you want to be making that rotation, send one player around 2C. You have to split their attention and force their players to back off, and then you want to swoop in towards B. And Armor Defiance is going to get that rocket launcher. That's going to be a big, important weapon here. He's going to find one with it. Looking for a second victim as well, but this push here from Inept, holding the line here is exactly what they needed here, and they're doing a fantastic job of that right now. So early game jitters aside, they've come out swinging basically in this one, and it's going quite well for them now.
Yeah, they've been able to, the shock of the beginning, loss of the beginning setups, has sort of been, weathered. The storm was weathered. They're only down 30. They're trading C and A right at this point, but it looks like We Get Wiped was able to get both of them. So no, they're going to have to focus their effort on, pushing one of those while not losing B, as We Get Wiped are pushing Armored Defiance, but he's able to get 1 kill and play his life. The teammates there with him. They're trying to pick up C, and if they're able to pick up C, we could have a tie game in, a matter of 30 seconds.
Yep, well, I mean, the AC cap is going to kind of force their attention. You're going to see Armored Defiance heading here over towards A. Is going to start on that, and this should actually be the signal for We Get Wiped to start on B, but 2 of their players are currently on the shotgun side of the map. They're nowhere near B, and this means that it's going to be an AB cap here for Inept. They're going to pick that one up basically for free, as they're going to continue to get some points here, and they're going to be getting the kills as well. 3 are going to go down from We Get Wiped. They're going to be forced to spawn C, going to be forced to just funneling your way outside of Tram. And I mean, they have to make their way up the street here towards B, and currently they're kind of being held at the line. Franz is going to get one with a shotgun as well, looking for a second. He's going to fall and going to lose that power weapon here, but the points are ticking now in Inept's favor, and they are approaching the tie here. Badua with that rocket launcher is going to find 2, looking for the third, and he's going to eat a shotgun to the face instead. 3 are down here for the Inept, and they are going to be on top of C, but they're going to be trading A, B, and that is not the favorable trade that you want.
No, you don't really want to trade C for A and B. Well, you never want to trade 1 for 2. But on this map, you kind of want to have the setup. A, B is the high ground kind of. And like you were saying before, it's hard to get out of C. You're kind of funneled into certain avenues. Certain 3 avenues are the only way out. And it's very easy to cover those 3 avenues. As We Get Wiped, gets taken out, and there they go. They were able to take that B hold back, and we have almost a 10-point game here, and being down 75-1 to start the game, it didn't look so good, but at this point, it's anybody's game.
I mean, they've definitely flipped the momentum on their head. Inept is definitely coming up. The Slays are now going their way. Avatar was, I think, 0-6, and since then is now 8-7. So definitely a big turn up from the captain of Inept. So solidly being played here from the side of Inept. I mean, this is going to be going now in favor of Armor Defiance. They did lose C, but they're going to trade AB, and they were able to do that without really giving up B. And right as I say that, well, there you go. You're going to have the players from We Get Wiped hop on towards B. They're still looking to get this cap here, but I mean, someone did step off of it here because you can see it wasn't ticking anymore. They did lose the lead. They're looking to regain it here, but I mean, it's a tight game all of a sudden. Inept looked pretty early like they were not going to be doing too much here. And We Get Wiped now is, I mean, I don't know if you could say We Get Wiped kind of choked away that lead, or Inept just played it really well. And honestly, I'd pick the second. I think Inept has played this beautifully.
No, they played really well. There's really not been a choke. It's it's just been smart pushes, getting the rocket launcher a few times, and that rocket launcher is huge. You get the rocket launcher like they have right now, and you're able to get 2 kills and 2 people being down at least. You know, 2 down, and if you have your whole team, it's really easy to push B like they're doing right here. As side of We Get Wipes able to take 3 of them out. Crayola is the last one alive. He's trying to play his life. He's trying to prevent a trip cap. He's going to have a hard time doing it. He does get the trade out there, but, and the trip cap does not end up happening unless they're able to touch C. They are, so no trip cap. They were able to, not go down majorly. Those trip caps can, put double points on the board, and the side of Inept is trying to push up. They get 3 down for the side of We Get Wiped, and they're taking B right back. They're getting A, and they're losing C, but they're getting the trade that we were talking about earlier that you don't want to really trade A and B for C. So it goes in their favor as they're down a little bit, down about 40 points. But, 40 points in strongholds is nothing, that can be erased in a matter of, seconds, really, if you're able to get a trip cap or even just hold the 2 that you have.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this too. I mean, there's a player threatening C there from the side of Inept. They're forcing their attention here from We Get Wiped to be in the back, and I don't know how Franz traded out 2 there for 1. I really don't know how he managed to pull that one off, but this should be A. No, the player's going to go down, so A is not going to be flipped over in favor of We Get Wiped. They're going to continue to kind of bleed out some points here as the Inept is going to tie up the game and take the lead as well. They're here to clear out C, and they're here to push these players back. Down goes Crackdown. They did trade Armored Defiance out, though, so that will be the point A cleared out, but We Get Wiped will be there as well. I mean, this player's just all over. There's explosions everywhere. Inept is going to lose 3 players here, and this is a trip cap here actually coming through. B is going to take over. A is going to take over. C will get capped by Inept, but I mean, there's your 1-for-2 trade that you didn't want to happen, and Inept is going to eat the losing end of that.
Yeah, and this is going to be big. They need to win this. Avatar needs to win that, but all 4 go down, and this is the optimal time for a trip cap with 4 people in the death screen, and this could be a championship coming their way if they're able to hold this trip cap for any amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have 1 player here out towards the back. That's going to be the Rockets going down. I don't know if there's anyone left in the chamber there, but A was ticking here for Inept, but they weren't able to get onto it. That does mean that the ticks are still coming through. They're going to have a player on A, a player on C. So We Get Wiped has to kind of divide their attention here towards the points. They have to secure 1 of those while still maintaining control over B, and they're going to fall all across the map. We Get Wiped is only going to have Sage left now, who's going to be not end up taking up 1. So that is going to be 3 players going down, and that is a trip cap now on the other side as Inept has all 3 points. C's going to take over now to We Get Wiped. They're going to lose 3 again.
Yeah,
this
just great pushes.
And a half.
Great pushes here by the side of Inept. Really, you get a trip cap and you just try and rotate. That's the strategy. Rotate to the next one where there should be spawning, and slay them out there, and you can keep the trip cap for a little bit longer, which they were able to do. And they're about to tick over into the lead, and they only need to get to 250. They're only about 30 points away from securing this win and taking us to a game 5.
Yep, and that is going to be B occupied, though, by the side of We Get Wiped, so they're going to stop it in their tracks and retake the lead. I mean, this is going to come down all the way to the end here. As you can see, We Get Wiped is going to be working. Franz is going to be working around the shotgun side. They're going to try to threaten here on towards A. They're going to be a player up there. The player goes down. Next one up is going to be Franz, who's going to get traded out here. And I do believe that did clear out on A. This is going to be Armored Defiance. Last player remaining is going to be on towards A. Trying to stay alive is going to be so weak, and he's going to go down. That means that We Get Wiped is still going to be getting points here. And this is now Inept running out of time. You don't have the time to wait for rockets or anything else. You have to go, because without it, you are about to lose this game, and with it, the championship.
Yeah, I mean, championship on the line here as they're able to take a few players out, but it gets reset. B gets reset, and they only have a few seconds left here. 8 seconds, and they're on it. Can they convert it? They're not able to convert it. As 2 go in, they reset it again, and they're just really, 6 seconds necessary. Big double kill by the Franz. A triple kill. He converts B. And back and forth we go. They still only need 6 seconds. We'll see if they make the smart pushes here and they push as a team because the championship is on the line for them as well. Avoiding going to a game 5 would be huge for the side of We Get Wiped, as it looks like they're going to get the slays. They're on B. Avatar's coming in. He goes down. It's a trade. The side of Inept is capturing A as we speak, and they're going to have a, 3 go down, but they got a 2 hill, and they're gaining points here, and they're about to win too.
Yeah, I mean, C is now going to tick over. That is going to halt it, and C should be going the way here of Inept. This is going to be a huge fight here. It's going to be Crayola. Crayola comes out on top. That's going to start taking C over, and that's going to freeze the points here. So nothing is going to be gained from We Get Wiped from that whole sequence. They got 2 points. It's now going to be Inept. That's going to be ticking up. Franz is going to be coming in from the back. It's going to be 2 down for We Get Wiped. And they're going to be on C here as well. The one player's trying to stay alive. Someone for Inept has to get on the point. He has to get on the point. They got on B.
Oh my goodness, we are down to the wire here. I don't know who's going to win.
I mean, it's going to be... The points are going to now tick towards Inept. We Get Wiped only needs 2, but they just need to get onto a point to stop something. 2 go down, and that is it.
250 to 248. What
and be able to actually use that weapon, because honestly, I cannot use the skewer for my life. But, these guys definitely better at the game than I am, so you know that they can probably get a lot better use out of it than I can. As we're going to see, Franz is going to be the first player to attempt the OS. He's going to grab that, and he's not going to actually get it. He's going to drop it on the ground. He won't be able to use it. As you can see, I believe somebody from the side of We Get Wiped was the one who ended up picking that up, and they're off to an early lead here.
Yeah, they were able to get 3 down, and Franz made a last grasp attempt as the rest of his team was down to try and get that OS, and he was not able to go get it. And this is a good response from the gut punch that they just witnessed in the last game. They really came out strong. They're up 6-3. They got the overshield. They're shooting together as a team. They kind of got Crayola over there split off. They got the skewer. Everything's sort of rolling for them right now, and we'll see if they can keep this momentum, going for them, as they kind of did this in the last game. They kind of got a little bit of lead early on in the first Slayer match that we had, and even though it went back and forth, they were able to pull away and win in the end.
Yep, definitely. So, I mean, right now, the skewer is going to be the hands of Kraken. He's going to fire that one off. Not able to pick anything up of it. And I believe that was a glitched animation or something, because he has reloaded the weapon since then, and I definitely did not see that thing open up. So, I mean, a few visual glitches we're going to see, but the last time we saw a Catalyst, it was map 5. It was the Contender pre-made finals, and it really did, and it came down to time. It was 47-41, as the winning team just kind of ran a circle around the map, and the other team was unable to really track them down to kill any of them at the end. So I'm curious as to how those teams are going to how the current teams are going to kind of work their way around the map, because this is a map where it is a little hard to find players, honestly, in some cases, where there's so many angles, so many locations for them to kind of just be hiding behind. So you do have to make an effort to be kind of proactive on the map and push, and hope the other team is also going to push in the same direction, because you might be chasing them in a circle for a while, and Dulu's going to pop that OS. He's going to get away with it.
Yeah, that was a great play by his teammate up top, sort of, firing on the guy that was chasing him. And then that guy actually jumped off the stage. I'm not quite sure who it was. Duo's overshield, though, is all gone, all but gone. It's totally gone. And, not really put to use, but, maybe, put some pressure on the other team is to get, I don't think 2 were taken down, but a 14-8 lead. If they're able to take this player down here, they're going to extend their lead, but they're not. The Franz is playing his life really well. Crayola's playing his life, and we got a 14-11 game, and it's only a 3-point game after the strong start for We Get Wiped.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely know Duo was probably hoping that they had the overshield, as they went straight zooming into 2 players down there. Got taken out immediately, but the gap is beginning to close here. Inept has picked up 3 additional kills on top of it, so they've cut the lead in half now. It was 6. Now it's 14-11, so in the early stage of this game, We Get Wiped able to maintain their lead here, but Inept is going to be closing that gap on these players. Avatar is going to get picked off at range, kind of face the firing squad. There's 3 players from We Get Wiped aiming to take him down. But again, I mean, it's just overall not the fastest that you'd kind of hope to see in a Slayer in a game 5. These players are playing very cautiously, and for a good reason too. And Inept has not really been able to close the gap, but that's 3 dead actually for We Get Wiped, and it's still a 3-point lead.
Sage was able to just barely stay alive there, as he almost, grappled off the stage. But, you know, I think the reason it's a slower paced game is there's a lot more to lose. Like, this isn't this isn't a regular season match. This isn't even a quarterfinals or a semifinals. This is a championship on the line, game 5. And no one wants to be the reason their team loses it, you know? As we get a takedown there, they cut the lead to 2, but there comes in Avatar playing his life. Armored Defiance goes down. And the Franz is able to pick up the overshield here with all of them focused, but he gets back smacked, and he gets nothing for it. You hate to see it. It's 19-16, still a 3-point lead, but that overshield would have been huge to have as Crayola gets taken down, and the lead's starting to extend as, well, actually not extend, it's starting to get taken down as it's only 20-19.
Inept, I mean, it's close. Like, Inept has just been really playing this nicely, getting that comeback. And okay, right as I say that, 2 go down, the lead goes back to 3 points once again. 3 dead, though, for the side of Inept. So that's going to be a 3-point lead maintained. They got 1 trade there on towards Crackdown. But the remaining player is going to be Crayola, trying to spring up behind these players, try to say hello and give them a bit of a surprise from behind. Gonna find one, still has some shield up, but isn't going to last that much longer. Gets taken down with a nice headshot there. As the 2 players are going to continue just kind of fighting it out. 3 points once again from the side of Inept. I mean, if you're from We Get Wiped, they're just hoping that they can maintain this for the rest of the game, and Inept has to kind of pick up the pace a little bit here because the time is kind of taken away. We're at 6.5 minutes to go in this game, and we're just barely at the halfway point of the game. So, I mean, we're still on pace to finish before the time, but you never know. They might slow it down considerably the way we saw in that recharge, and that might extend this out by quite a bit.
This is kind of resembling the previous Slayer, right? 3-point lead, push to 6. Taken back down to 1 or 2, then push back out to 5. So, you know, it's following a similar game script from the last one. And, you know, for the side of Inept, I think they need to change the pace of the game like you were talking about. It's starting to slow down, and it might not be the pace that they want to play at as a team. They're kind of playing We Get Wiped's pace. And, you know, in the last Slayer, it played into the favor of We Get Wiped. And currently, we're following the same, you know, like I said, the same game script.
Yeah, but no, definitely. I mean, you can see a lot of these players are just going to kind of continue to trade. I mean, you look back at that recharge too, the way the teams were playing, the way that they were able to take the double chows and just kind of team up and group as a unit essentially across the map. That's something that you need to see from Inept. Again, they made that mid-game adjustment, and you really want to see them pull this one off because they're down by 5 right now. The lead has extended out a little more, and We Get Wiped is really just playing it nicely. So we are going to be just working around the edge and see where Inept is going to go. I mean, you can see Crayola is going to team up, but they are tending to split off over the course of this match. And you really can't have that in Slayer, especially when you're running into the We Get Wiped squad where there's 3 of them in front of you, like right here. Crayola's going to take this first fight. There's 3 players from the enemy team all around him, and he's just kind of going to get out of dodge there.
He gets out of dodge there, and they just can't seem to get it. Every time they cut it to, like, you know, 2 or 3, they just kind of lose a couple slays, get taken out, and, you know, it gets extended as Armored Defiance makes a good push in. He's able to play his life, which is good, but no, they're going to take him down, and the 3-point kill is maintained as the Franz does have the skewer, and maybe this could be, you know, the thing that tips it in their scales, but he doesn't see Dulu there, but he makes an insane no-scope to take him out. And it's 1 point.
Okay, that was a flick and a half at the very end there to just snap onto him. Pulls out the kill, stays alive. It's going to be a 2-point lead here from We Get Wiped as we get towards the later stages of this game. As you're going to see, I mean, he's looking for another one here. You can see with that skewer, trying to find another. The side of We Get Wiped is just completely grouped up here now, and they're just running around as a death ball. Inept, definitely more spread out across the map. You're going to see him try to line it up. That was so close. That was incredibly close for a cross-map thing here. So, oh,
yeah,
man.
this is big. Armored Defiance was able to sneak out and get the overshield because of that pressure that was put on by the skewer on the other side. He goes for the ninja. That's not going to work. And a 2-point lead for an Inept now as they're on the attack with the overshield. And, you know, maybe We Get Wiped getting huddled up wasn't the best idea. You know, it's prevented them. They're now down 4 all of a sudden, and the pace of the game is really not in their favor, as that is going to be all 4 taken down at one point, 41-35. This is a huge lead as they were just down three kills, and now they're up 6. So, you know, like you said, you get to that 40-point mark, you got a 6-point lead. That's a huge lead to have.
That was, I mean, Inept has been trailing this entire game. They have not had a lead this entire game. And all of a sudden, it's 6 points in their favor because they get a flurry of kills here. The OS goes in their favor. Every trade seemed to go their way all of a sudden. And now they're up by 6 here as we're going into the end of the game. We get wiped. The panic button's kind of on here. As I mean, you gotta go. This is a problem. You're down by 7 kills now. You're not able to trade it out. Armored Defiance has popped absolutely off. He got that overshield confidence, and he just kept it up. It doesn't matter if he has an OS or not because he's taken every challenge you put in front of him. The gap here, though, is closing. We get wiped, getting these kills, not getting traded out in the process. So we're going to see how exactly they end up as we are entering the end of this game. And this is going to be so
Big
tight.
kill.
That's going to be more kills. 2 kills before we get wiped. They're going to lose 2 of their own, though. They're still down by 4. 47-43. It is so tight here at the end.
Yeah, and it's just we get wiped. Was able to get a few slays there as they made a very good push. But the overshield now goes in the side of Armor Defiance and the side of Inept. And that's probably going to be all she wrote as they need one more, to seal this. And with that overshield, that's going to be it. That's going to be a championship for Inept. What a comeback. What a series. And I got to...